Hey guys, it's Rich, and this is video number 5 of the 77 question Witchy community tag. If you have not partaken in the tag yet, go ahead and go to Christo-Paganism.com for a list of all of the questions in their entirety. If you have partaken in this tag already, please go ahead and comment down in the bottom bar to your video. And yeah, let's get this thing rolling. I will say that I'm only going to do 20 minutes of recording for this video because after that I have to get ready for work, and that only leaves me like 10 minutes to get ready for work. So I want to try to get through as many questions as possible. So halfway through the video you might see me change outfits because yeah, that's why. Anywho, we're starting with question number 45. What is some advice that you would give to somebody who has not found their deity? And I mentioned this in the last video, that if you haven't found a deity, one of the pieces of advice that Annie has given, and I believe she gave it in her 77 question Witchy community tag video, is give it time. I know that whenever I first started, I did not have a goddess. I used my ancestors in the place of a goddess, not putting them as a deity figure, but in place as like a placeholder. So, kind of keeping the seat warm. But for me, a goddess did not really come to me as something that was needed in my path until recently. And one of the thoughts that I have, and I've spoken on this before with the Christo-Pagan series on the duality of deities, and I'll try to link to that video here. I'll try to remember to link to that. But like I said in that video, is I was in a circle. I was sitting in the circle, and the way that I see it is that Sophia was on the edge of circle, just awaiting me to let her in, waiting to have that time with me. So she was already there. I think this is how I see it. This is how it feels to me, is that I feel that she was there for quite a while, standing there waiting for me to be ready. But she wasn't going to just burst into the circle, even though I think that she really could. I think that she could, but I think that it was more of the fact that it needed to be something that organically came to me, that I needed to have that longing, and I needed to basically cut the door in the circle to invite her in. That she wasn't going to just barge in and say, hey, I'm your goddess, and this is how it is. I really don't see that with her. So, for me, it was very much of, I had to open myself up to have a goddess in my practice. As for a god, I've always had Christ. Ever since I was going to church in 1999, the summer of 99 the summer of 99. It was right before I went into junior high. So, yeah. That's whenever I invited Christ into my life, and ever since then, Christ has been a part of my life. So for me, not having a God figure is not something that I really know about. And I think even before then, I was fairly open to Jesus being in my life. So, as far as the goddess aspect, I can really speak on that, on opening yourself up and allowing yourself to be, allowing yourself to have that goddess aspect in your life. Number 46. Where do you buy your herbs? I've bought herbs from eBay. Sometimes you can find a mixed lot of herbs, and they're only like little sample packs here and there. but you can buy a mixed lot of herbs for fairly cheap. Now, I will say with that, I don't know how organic or anything that type of system is, so I would definitely look at the seller rating and such. But I've also ordered from Mountain Rose Herbs, which has just a wonderful selection, and I highly suggest going through them. Also, if the growing of the herb, being organic and whatnot, is something that is important to you, make sure that you ask them questions. Especially if it's something that's really important to you, just definitely ask the questions to the person that you're ordering from. But Mountain Rose Herbs I found as a reputable source. Azure Green is another one that I've ordered some herbs from, but not many. So yeah, that's basically what I have for that one. And in the future, I may be adding herbs onto Christo-Paganism.com. If so, what kind of herbs would you guys like? Leave a comment down in the bottom bar as to what herbs you want to see on there, if any. Number 47. How did you feel casting your first circle? Silly, scared, stumbling, etc. See, in these instances, I really wish I was better at keeping a journal. Keeping that Book of Shadow journal pages. I really wish that I could remember casting my first circle. I would imagine that I felt a little silly doing it. Not really scared. It's not something that really scared me. Worried is something that I felt, especially in my early practice. Some doubt that it was actually working would be another thing that I would say that I felt. And doubt and worry is still something that does happen from time to time. Doubt isn't something that really goes away for me. Constantly questioning things is something that always pops into my head. So, yeah, I would imagine that doubt, worry, and a little bit of silliness was something that would be in my first circle casting. Number 48. What was your first successful spell? Again, I really wish that I had accurate documentation, that I was really much more of a journaler than I am, because I don't remember really what my first spell was. I really wish I had records of these first days of my practice. So for me, I can't really remember what my first successful spell was, or even what my first spell was. I would have to say it was probably something for communicating with spirits. And in some way, shape, or form, I've always had some sort of communication, whether it's that feeling, that knowing that somebody is there, that they are talking to you or conversing with you in one way, shape, or form or another. So I would have to say that would probably have been my first type of spell. And as far as successful, I think they're all successful in their own way, shape, or form. Even whenever you don't think that a spell goes the way that you want it to, and I talked about this in, I believe it was the last video, even whenever you don't think a spell really goes the way that you're planning, it still has that effect. It still has a way of forming reality in a different way. So I think all spells that I've done so far have been successful in their own way, shape, or form. Number 49. What is your general practice for meditation? I have two. One is sitting there in silence and basically making everything relaxed. Another form is walking. Especially here in Korea, walking meditation is something that is very real for me. Because I don't have a car here and I walk to and from work every day. Sometimes I end up getting a ride on the shuttle that goes around the base, but not always. But walking meditations are something that's very real for me because I have to walk. And what else to do but meditate or think. The introspective meditation, the contemplative meditations that go along with my walking is something that happens very frequently for me. Question number 50, are you a day walker or a night comer? I'm not really sure what's meant by this. If you're meaning like a night worker type where you go and you help people at night, I don't believe I'm a night worker in any way, shape, or form. I just really don't think I am. I don't really know what you mean by day walker or night comer. I'm sorry, I really don't know those terms. If I get a chance tonight while I'm at work, I will actually look up those terms and probably put a separate insert right here. Question number 51. How and when did you know you wanted to be on this path? Being on this path was kind of something that just ended up happening. Whenever I started on this path, on this practice, I did so very much to reconnect with some of the family members that I've lost. And in trying to reconnect with those family members that I've lost, I came into the world of witchcraft and spellcasting and divination, as I love divination so very much. It's something that just kind of organically became. I hadn't really considered myself in any way a pagan until recently, basically because of the stigma that the term carries with it. So for me, it wasn't really something that really was decided. It was something that just kind of happened. As far as the spirit communication, it was something out of, I don't know if you'd say it was desperation. I really don't know if that's the right word to use in this one, but out of the longing for connection with family members that have passed. It was out of that longing that was decided, I will do what I need to do in order to connect with these people. And it kind of organically grew from there. Not really something that was decided. Number 52, what type of pagan are you? Wiccan, eclectic, hedge, etc. I would say that I am an eclectic Christo-Pagan, and I think that is the closest definition that I can give to what kind of pagan am I. I want to address this because I had a message sent to me by somebody that I cannot remember their name, that asked what types of pagan traditions are there, and I will probably do a separate video on that. So for the person that wrote in that question, stay tuned. I will probably try to do that video this weekend. I'll try to remember. So just so you know, I did see your message in there, and it's not that I didn't want to write back, I just want to do a full video on it. It probably will be kind of short, so yeah. Anywho, moving on. Question number 53. What candle color do you use most? I would say that I probably use white the most. The reason that I use white is because, for me, it is the absence of color. In other aspects, some people see it as all colors. I see it as a very uplifting color. Just purity. And for me, it can be any color, as far as white is the substitute for anything. I actually saw a Tumblr post that, you know, quartz crystals are used for everything. They can be the substitute for anything. Even in this post in particular, it said even a coven mate. where I guess the person was not in the circle at that time, so they put a quartz crystal there, and whenever they showed up, they had to pick up the quartz crystal and be like, yeah, you're kind of replaceable with a quartz crystal. So yeah, I see white candles in the same way as quartz crystals, where they can be used for just about anything and everything. They can substitute just about anything. So yeah, white candles for me would be the most used in my practice. The sense of purity, the sense of, yeah, it can be used for yellow, it can be used for green, it can be used for red, blue, black. It can be used for anything for me. So, for me, the white candle would be the color or the colorless type of candle that I use the most. Question number 54. What area would you like to see your craft grow in? I would like to see my craft grow in just about every area. Like I said before, a practice is a continual process. It's not something that you master at one given time. So for me, growing my practice in just about every area, whether it be divination, spell work, ritual layout, just growing closer to deity, it's just about every area I think I would want to see my craft grow in. Probably more in the spell work aspect. I want to get back into casting spells whenever I need it or whenever I want it. Basically because I've grown very lax in it, and I'm afraid that if I don't use those muscles, if I don't exercise those muscles, that they'll go away or they'll become weaker. So I definitely want to, in my spell work aspect, grow those muscles and exercise them out. I'd also like to grow my practice in the intuition aspect, being able to sit down with somebody, do a tarot reading or an oracle reading or something of that sort, and just being able to sense that, yes, I have the correct interpretation, that that I'm going on the right track. So that's where I would like to grow my practice. And it's not going to be easy, and I know that. Number 55. What is your preference, to buy or make your tools? I would rather buy my tools. And the reason because is that a lot of the tools that I like, they're a little elaborate. And I don't necessarily have the skill to always make the tool that I want. Such as if I wanted a new wand. I don't have a lathe, and even if I did have a lathe of my own, rather than using the government one, I don't know if I would want to turn my own tool, because I don't know if I'd want it to be a straight stick. I don't know if that's the type of wand that I would necessarily want. Maybe I want one with a lot of curves, and I'm not good at carving, so if I want to have any carvings on it, I'm not good at carving. I've tried it before. Stuff like my chalice, if I want a new chalice, mine is a beautiful glass-blown chalice. And there is no way that, with the amount of skills that I possess right now, that I would be able to do a blown glass chalice. No way. At least not right now. And it's not really an interest that I have of growing my knowledge in glass blowing just to be able to make a chalice. I think you guys know what I'm saying here. Some tools I would like to make. I would like to make my own set of runes. I have a wonderful set of runes from Dancing Rabbit and Feather, if you're familiar with Dancing Rabbit and Feather. I have a wonderful set of runes from them. I also have a quartz crystal rune set that you guys will be seeing on Futhork Fridays. I'll actually show both of those sets. I did bring both sets. Eventually I would like to make my own type of tarot, but even then it's not me making the tool, it's me sending in a design to have it made. So for me, it's very much I like to buy my tools, because if I don't possess the skills to be able to make the tool, then it kind of seems like a waste to go and learn that skill just to be able to know it for one time. I do have one tool in particular that I have made, and that I have here, and I will show that in a future video. And with that, that is day 5 of the 77 question Witchy community tag. Now I will say that yes, this is being filmed or recorded, whatever your preference of word is, after the first segment of it. So yes, I did change shirts, and I got my new lighting system, so this is me actually trying it out for the first time with you guys. I hope I actually got a good angle and everything, so let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I have to edit this down and upload it. So with that, if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and click subscribe right above my head. If you'd like to see these questions in their entirety, go to Christo-Paganism.com right here. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, go ahead and go right here. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.